No matter at what stage you are in your weight loss journey, there's certain things and certain lies that you probably have heard 100 times by now. And the first one is carbs are making you fat. It is not the carbs' fault that people are actually overweight. It is actually as simple as eating too many calories no matter what you eat. Basically, you can even overeat on proteins, but that's a little bit harder. It is not the poor carbohydrate that is at fault that you are actually gaining weight. The only thing that makes you gain weight is eating more calories than you are actually burning. This one is quite funny because a lot of people, when they get into the weight loss space and they try to start losing weight for one or the other reason, the first thing that they cut out is the carbs. Even though maybe you have like favorite foods that we're gonna get into later that are purely carb based, and you're gonna restrict yourself so much because you are just dooming this carbohydrate to be your absolute worst enemy, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There's even carbohydrates that are good for you. The best example is actually fruits. For example, apples, they have a lot of vitamins inside. There's so many other fruit examples that I could put here, but it's pretty obvious that most fruits are actually quite beneficial for us. So this kind of lie is actually everywhere, and a lot of people are facing this lie and they believe it, and it makes your process of gaining or losing, in this case losing weight, actually really hard because you are being misled. There is good carbohydrates like, for example, rice. A lot of cultures are eating actually a lot of rice and they look really fit, and I don't think that it's the carbs' fault that those people are actually looking fit or something, but it's just also not the carbs' fault that some of their people are maybe overweight, you know. There's so many things about these carbohydrates that people try to fool you into to make you not eat carbs, and then there's this other approach where they be like, you know what, the only thing that you eat should be carbs because they have all the vitamins. But that's also not great because they have a point with saying that carbohydrates are making you fat, that you will be more hungry when you're eating mostly carbs, and there's other things that you should consider exchanging the carbs for example, eating a little bit more protein, a little bit more fat, and just overall keeping it in a balance so that you're not overeating on carbs, you're not spiking your insulin too much now, and you're gonna be actually satisfied. And when you are eating too many carbs and you cut out the other stuff, then you're gonna be hungry all the time, and then the carbs might make you fat. Weight loss lie number 2, you need to do hours of cardio to actually start losing weight. And this is such bad advice, guys. This couldn't be further from the truth also, because in the moment you are doing way too much cardio to try to burn these little extra calories that you burn by going, for example, for a run, they are not even amounting to too much. You would probably need to run like 5 hours to burn off the calories of a single donut, for example. So just outrunning your diet is basically never gonna work. The thing that I recommend what people should do, the only thing as cardio training per se, is just walking. For example, instead of taking the car for the groceries, just go and take basically your feet. Don't go with the car. Walk there. You're gonna burn off more calories on average per week as if you try to run every single day. It's basically impossible if you already happen to make some cardio training to keep up with that schedule of running every day and basically, like I said, outrunning your diet. The moment you're doing that, you're gonna probably be more hungry because of the intensity of you running around all the time, and then you're gonna eat more. So basically you're countering the burned off calories by just increasing the amount of food that you will need after such high intense cardio sessions. So really just stick to the easy things. Walking would be my number 1 favorite cardio training. It's enjoyable. You can take your dog out if you have one. Maybe go with your friends in the park or something. Just keep yourself active, but don't go overboard with the cardio training. I don't even know where that comes from, that people think that you really should go for a run every single day. I don't think that is even healthy for your body, because you are putting such extreme amount of pressure on your body and also on your mind that can only backfire. At least that's my opinion about it, and I don't think that anyone should go run every single day. It is always a better solution to actually cut some calories by eating a little bit less instead of increasing your cardio, because as I said, it's gonna just put too much pressure on you, and it is so much easier to just not eat, like, let's say 5 bowls of food, but only 3. Now you cutted your calories by 40% already, instead of running for an entire hour straight to just burn off whatever calories you could have avoided to begin with. Weight loss line number 3, and this is probably the biggest one beginners mostly fall for. You have to starve yourself to lose belly fat the fastest. This is such brutal advice, guys. If you're gonna go to any of these crash diets, to any of these fat diets, and you're gonna starve yourself to basically lose fat or body weight per se, then you're gonna just shut down your metabolism. You're gonna eat so tiny that your body will think, oh my god, starvation mode, I actually need to save calories now, I need to shut down everything so that I can survive on, let's say, 500 calories for the next god knows when I get food again. And then basically what's gonna happen is you eat so little and you're not gonna lose weight because you just wrecked your metabolism. That's basically what every of those diet is gonna do to your body. They're gonna just absolutely destroy you, not only physically but also mentally, because who can survive on 500 calories? It is not possible. It's absolutely crazy that people are trying to convince you that it's healthy to eat such tiny calories. And in my opinion, what you should actually do is slowly decreasing your calories, avoid any kind of crash diet, go and maybe implement some lifestyle changes. For example, if you wanted to lose weight, the first thing that we already mentioned is it's not the carbs fault, but you need to keep your calories lower than you're actually using. Basically, think of it like a car. You put gasoline inside, and once this gasoline is basically getting the car to walk or to run, it's gonna get burned. Same thing with the actual calories in your body. They're gonna get converted to energy in one or the other way. And brutal diets like 500 calorie diets will not give your body enough energy, and it's gonna just shut down and gonna go into the starvation mode basically. And what you're gonna do is just slowly decrease the calories, maybe by 200 calories of whatever your body needs. There's like calculators and stuff online where you can figure that out. And then just increase the amount of cardio you are doing, but not what we mentioned before. Don't outrun the diet. Just go for a walk, guys. Approximate every 10,000 steps, that is like roughly 90 minutes of walking, will burn around 300 calories. So starving yourself is definitely not good. Lifestyle changes is the way to go. Weight loss lie number 4 that you most likely implemented. I did too, that's why I say it like this. Cut your favorite foods or you will not be able to lose weight. The only thing that happens when I cut my favorite food for too much time is basically I go on a complete rampage and I'm just gonna binge eat it for the next entire week, or in my case it was an entire year. So I cut out ice cream for a very long period of time after I went off the veganism basically, where I made ice cream all the time myself. And then basically what I did is, okay, you know what, ice cream, too many carbs, it's self-made, but still it has too much sugar. So I cut out my favorite food. And boy, was I wrong. That was such bad advice that I heard online that I cut out my ice cream, and I was binging ice cream for the next, I'm not lying, 1 year, because that was how much I craved it. And it just backfired on me so much. And at that point, it wasn't even self-made ice cream anymore. I just exchanged my good ice cream that I make for the stuff that you can buy in the supermarket. It was full of sugar, full of added stuff that you most likely should not eat. And I was eating it every day just because I cut it out. So cutting out your favorite food is not gonna be beneficial to you, at least not in most circumstances. There's certain reasons why you wanna cut out amounts of food. Like let's say your favorite food is spaghetti with bolognese sauce or something like that, something simple, or pizza. And now what you can do, instead of cutting it out entirely, just reduce the portion size a little bit. Maybe don't eat it every day, because maybe it's making you more hungry because it's too carbohydrate loaded, what we mentioned at the beginning of the video. So the next step would be reducing portion sizes. Maybe exchange one of the ingredients that might be a little bit more calorie heavy, like whipped cream or any kind of milk, dairy, this kind of stuff, for maybe something else. Just exchange the ingredients, switch it up a little bit, but do not actually cut out your favorite food. How we are going to survive the next, let's say, 2 months if we do not have our favorite piece of cake, something, our favorite ice cream, our favorite food, maybe a family food that they always cook for us or something like that. It is crazy that people are actually suggesting you to cut out your favorite food. Don't do that. And talking about the favorite foods, I will make a video in the upcoming days where I will talk about cheat days, because my birthday is coming up and I will definitely not ever exchange my favorite foods I really crave for anything else. Not in a special day, not an occasion like this. So stay tuned for that one. Weight loss lie number 5, and this is a big one too. Weight loss equals fat loss. And this couldn't be farther from the truth, because in the moment you are starting to actually go into a weight loss diet, or you're changing some stuff in your life and you're trying to lose weight, there is a big difference in between just weight loss and fat loss. And there's some really crazy things that are beneficial to overall fat loss compared to just losing weight, because in the moment you are losing weight, it is at the beginning most likely water weight, and depending on the actual diet that you are following, for example in the keto diet, this water weight is going to be exponential more because you are cutting out carbohydrates than to any regular diet. And in the moment you are just looking at the number on a scale, that is gonna kinda backfire on you, because maybe you are not even losing weight. Let's say you are gaining weight being on a diet. It happened to me, that's why I mention it here. You are doing maybe exercises, you build some muscles in between the weight loss stuff that you are trying to achieve, and then basically you go on a scale and it tells you, yeah, you know what? You are 5 pounds more than you have been last week. But what you don't really see is that maybe you eat more cake than you did the other week, or maybe you just had a slice of pizza, or maybe too much salt, or something that just retains the water weight, and now you think that your weight loss has stalled and that you gained a lot of fat. But that's actually not true, guys. You need to be careful that you are getting the numbers right, basically, and that you are making like a go to the scale every day approach, because then you will have an average weight of your entire week, and the scale is going to move up and down quite a lot. I was now actually going onto the scale for more than 9 months, and I did it almost every single day, and I really thought, okay, this is gonna be like a progress that's gonna be just downhill. It was not just downhill. One day I was 5 pounds more, the next week I was 2 pounds less, and so on, and it just kept going like this basically. But on average per week and per month talking, it always went down, and at that point I was quite sure it couldn't be just water weight anymore, because also I recommend to make pictures of your progress, because the number is not just your progress. The amount of strength that you will have while doing training, for example, is a good indicator of your progress. Taking down numbers like how many repetitions you can do, like body weight in cases of centimeters that you will have around your body size, around the wrist and stuff like that, would be a good indicator. How much fat you can actually grab on your stomach, how your pants fit, all of these things are better measurements than an actual number on a scale. Even though I recommend you use the scale a lot of times per week to get this average done and to know if you're headed in the correct direction. The actual weight loss versus fat loss, like water weight and fat weight, is actually so different from each other that you need to distinguish both of them apart from each other, otherwise it will hinder your progress and you will be hella confused. Weight loss lie number 6. Supplements and fat burners are the secret, and you're gonna lose so much more fat when you're using them. This is so ridiculous. Whoever is gonna try to sell you fat burners or any of those, you probably heard it already, exchange your meal for this powder stuff, and you basically do not eat normal food anymore, but you exchange it for fat burning supplements, whatever's. That's ridiculous. Who would in their right minds try to exchange nutritional real food for something that's probably most likely packed with added sugars that gonna make you hungrier, that gonna make you hungrier when the day passes on, and basically has a lot of those added additives that you don't even want to eat while you are being on a diet, because ultimately real food gives you nutrition. These fake powders and stuff will just take your money from you, but they will not give you nutrition, rather than giving you a lot more sugar and added stuff that you don't want to eat. So basically what you are doing, you are getting scammed and you're doing it voluntarily, because you fall for this trick that there is an easy approach of losing weight, but there is no such thing as losing weight easily. It can be simple, but losing weight always is gonna be hard, no matter what kind of fat burners they try to sell you. It's not gonna just like this boost your metabolism and you're gonna just need 5,000 calories more a day or something. That's not how the body works. Try to avoid all of those supplements that are promising you to lose weight. The only exception that I think what people can technically take is protein powder, but not as an exchange for real food, but as an addition. So basically, if you're really training heavily and you're like pushing a lot of weights, body weight training, or maybe you're going to the gym, this extra protein is going to be beneficial. It will keep you saturated. It will help you actually repair your cells and stuff, and also your muscles. But these fake powders, In my family, I think this is one of the biggest things that I cannot even talk about with them anymore because they believe in this stuff and I just want you to avoid those fake powders. Don't fall for it, it's gonna wreck your metabolism even more. And maybe you're losing some weight at the beginning, yes, but it's definitely not healthy. I don't at all recommend exchanging real food for fake powder or fake food. This supplements, please, just don't do it. Weight loss line number 7, you just need more motivation and discipline. Nobody's gonna be disciplined for 24/7, guys. It is just such a big lie that people try to tell you. I mean, everyone's motivated to lose weight eventually, but you cannot be motivated and disciplined all the time around the year, basically. So in my recommendation, what I think is the best approach to this lie and how to face it, just implement easy systems that you can follow to basically not even need to be motivated, because it is so easy to follow that in the moment you are demotivated, you couldn't care less that you maybe eat like 200 calories less that day, but you can still eat whatever you want, basically. So it is just more about the systems you are implementing and more about the approach of, okay, you know what? It's not fun all the time, but I see my progress and that motivates me enough to just not care about this crazy discipline other people need because they have no system in place. So basically just implement things that you know for sure you can stick to even on the bad days. So for example, you want to be disciplined all the time throughout your diet, but now your birthday is coming up. And this is very interesting because I will make a video in the upcoming days because my birthday is coming up too. And I'm not gonna be disciplined in my birthday. I'm just gonna binge eat whatever I want, whatever I desire, basically. So I'm just trying to be real here. You cannot be disciplined and motivated throughout the rest of your life, basically, because there's occasions coming up where you couldn't care less about your discipline or motivation or about any of your goals or whatever, because the occasion might be more important than actually just taking off one day of the weight loss journey. I hope that you got some value out of the video and that you will be able to level up your weight loss game by not believing all of these stupid lies and by making it easier for yourself. If you have any questions about weight loss, leave them down in the comments below. I'm really curious also about your story. What of those lies did you fall for already? Let me know down below as well. Thank you so much for watching and I see you in the next one.